retired U.S. Navy Captain William Toti. Captain, thank you. Let's stay on the topic of Iran. You say Iran is clearly calling the shots. If that's the case, what do you believe is their motivation and objective?
Marni, I think they're after what the Japanese in World War II would have called the decisive battle. So this operation has been clearly planned for years, a lot of positioning of equipment, training of people. And I believe that they ordered the Hamas attack to occur first because there's a lot of people, 2 million people in Gaza, and they were counting on the IDF reaction being such that it would antagonize like-minded people around the world and really build up momentum against Israel and cause Israel to lose the moral high ground. So that would be phase one. I believe that Hezbollah is under Iran's direction conducting what are called probing attacks right now. But Hezbollah will hold back until the IDF is fully engaged in Gaza and has a lot of troops in Gaza. And that's when they're going to try to more vigorously engage on the northern front and try to pivot and dilute the IDF defenses.
And as a result, we have seen the U.S. military might get into position. The U.S. has taken steps to deter others from getting involved. You've got the strike groups in the Eastern Mediterranean and elsewhere in the Pacific. Is that enough? Does that send a strong enough message?
No, unequivocally no. So getting the Eisenhower strike group to the Persian Gulf area is a great start. We also have ground-based forces in the Middle East, but unfortunately, those often require host nation permission to operate. So if they were to operate against Iran and let's say Qatar or Saudi Arabia from which they operate say, no, we're not going to let you operate against Iran from our territory. The only alternative is naval forces, which is why we also have the Carl Vinson strike group leaving from the Pacific. They may do a head fake towards China and Taiwan. And as long as things remain calm near China and Taiwan, continue to move a second strike group into the Middle East. So we'd have the forward in the Mediterranean and 2 carrier strike groups in the Middle East at that point.
Secretary Austin also placed a number of U.S. forces on a prepare to deploy order. How significant is that? I mean, when was the last time we saw such an act?
It's common, fairly, as it turns out, to prepare to deploy. The next step of deploying is less common because the question becomes deploy to where? If these are ground-based forces for logistic support, that's less provocative than, let's say, if we put ground troops into Israel. And everything we've heard to this point indicates that there is no current intent to put American ground forces in Israel, except for maybe hostage rescue missions.
What we have seen, though, and this is per a U.S. defense official confirming to NewsNation, there have been attacks against U.S. and coalition forces as early as this morning in places like Syria. We also saw that happen in Iraq recently. No injuries or damage. But what does that tell you about the conflict?
It tells me that all of Iran's proxies are on alert. One of those forces that attacked American forces in Syria said they're ready to initiate a front on their side, but Iran has not yet given them the green light. Yet another indication that this entire effort is being choreographed real time by Iran. And so those probes are precisely to hold down American forces in those locations, hoping that they won't join the fight. So in every case, we've got forces that have been clearly pre-staged and coordinated attacks sequenced in a way that's controlled by Iran.
And how does China and Russia play into all of this? China has also stationed military ships in the area in the Mediterranean Sea. Russia has jets flying over the Black Sea right now. Talk about that.
Marni, it's all connected. I mean, I wish we could say that it wasn't. Remember that Iran supplies most of the drones that Russia is using against Ukraine. And so one of the objectives the United States would be to shut down that drone factory. So Russia supports Iran. China supports anybody that weakens the United States. So they're going to be provocative. But I do not believe China is stupid enough to use this as an opportunity to begin World War III by initiating their attack on Taiwan.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.